Hi, this is a small video that explains how to add new events into your system. So in order to generate new events, you look up the event that you want to do, then click on Create. On the next page that you see, you'll get an overview of all the settings that you can do. So now two things are very important here. The first one is to always know which slots you have already generated, because the system does not have a security system built in that will check if you already have generated exactly the same event at exactly the same time. So when you're generating a mass of events, please take a piece of paper out and write down all the different dates and all the different times that you have already generated, so that you do not double generate events. Another way to check if you have already generated an event at a certain time, you can always go on your event and then view, and then see what has been generated in the coming days and coming weeks. So back to the generate page. So you select your event, you go and create. And now the next important thing to pay attention to is the starting and end times. So if you say your event should go from 8 o'clock until 10 o'clock in the morning, you just simply choose 8 and then here until 10. If you want to do it in the afternoon, then click here, and if you want to do noon, you have to check actually 00 p.m., which would be noon, and then p.m. to get 2 o'clock. Now the next thing that can be tricky is here the starting date. So this is the date where the event starts, and if you want to generate, for instance, a wakeboard camp that goes over a period of a couple of days, this is where you would set that date. So if I would set here the 17th, it would mean that we would have a beach access that would be open or running from 12 o'clock on May 14th until 2 o'clock on May 17th. So that's only interesting when you want to do events that go over a couple of days without breaks in between. If you, however, want to generate an event that repeats itself over multiple dates, you do not want to touch the second date selector, but you want to go here, is it repeating? Yes, and then you tell the system on which dates it repeats and until what date it repeats. So for instance, it repeats until the 30th of September. So to have another look at this, what we have currently done. Our event that we're generating is every day from 12 o'clock until 2 o'clock, starting on May 14th. It repeats every single day from 12 until 2 o'clock until September 30th. Down here, you can now put the number of places, which means how many people can book in. What is the maximum discount that is allowed to be given at the cash register? When you generate, like here, is it currently bookable? That means like when you generate it, do you want that those sessions are directly bookable by customers or not? So if you want to have them bookable, you say yes. If you just want to generate them and then manually open them afterwards, you want to say no here. Then until how many hours before the beginning of the session do you want people to book? Here the standard is 0. If you say, hey, for instance, for lake rentals, you want that people book at least 24 hours in advance, you would put in 24 hours here. Then what's the number of minutes you want people to check in prior to arriving? That would be 30 from the standard. Then on which cable or which transportation you want that event to run, and then the price. Fun, you just hit add, and that generates then all the events that you just selected here. What's very important, like if you do a mass generation, there's no button where you can just delete a whole thing that you have done wrong. So that comes back to the first thing that I said. If you want to generate events, please make sure that you write down, first of all, what kind of events you want to generate, from which times until which dates, and then you work down your own list and you tick off the ones that you have generated so that you don't generate the same kind of event twice. Because if you do that, there's no failsafe in WakeSys, and you will get overbooked on those events because now the system has 2 times the event for the same day, for the same hour. That's it.